Thank you, Louise, and thank you, Ziadine. Such an inspirational session, just wonderful to be a part of. And while you were talking there, Ziadine, I was put in mind of the first aim set out in our union's rules, which talks about the power of education to enable children not just to understand the world, but to change it for the better. And I think that is right at the heart of the foundation of our union and right at the heart of what we do as educators, as trade unionists. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Colleagues, it has been an absolute privilege to have chaired your conference today. My thanks to all of our speakers, workshop leaders, and to the staff who've worked so hard behind the scenes in order to make this possible. In today's conference, we've been confronted by testimonies that have laid bare the obscene injustices and seismic inequalities that plague our globe. Like you, these stories have stirred in me feelings of frustration and anger about the imbalance in the world. We're now 16 years on from the Make Poverty History campaign, 21 years on from the Millennium Development Goals. It's 32 years since the rights of the child were established, and 63 years since the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. With history's long list of commitments and promises, I know that it's sometimes difficult to reconcile the inequality of our times with the belief that things can change. This, as Mary said this morning, has been the unavoidable context of our conference, a world that too often can be ugly and cruel. But today we've also heard stories of courage, of resilience and of hope. We've heard the testimony of Ziadine, a father whose daughter took on the Taliban and who together turned the gaze of the world to girls' rights to education. We've heard it in the message from David Edwards, who reminded us that there's no stronger force for equity and justice than the world's trade unions. We heard it in the testimony of our own members who are fighting in solidarity with educators and children right across the globe. And we heard it in the message of Michelle Bachelet, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, who told our conference, please do not give up, and reminded us that our efforts are now more important than ever. Yes, the scale of the challenges before us is great, but I believe that the strength of our movement is greater still. I believe that as trade unionists and as educators, when we act collectively, we can hold power to account. We can hold governments to their duties to protect human, trade union and children's rights. On February the 3rd, 2005, Nelson Mandela took to the stage in Trafalgar Square. He was there in support of the Make Poverty History campaign. And in speaking, he said, poverty is not natural. It's man-made and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. I'll just repeat that. It is man-made and can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. When Mandela delivered those words, he spoke not only to the 20,000 campaigners gathered in Trafalgar Square, he spoke to them and to people like you and me. So though the challenges we face are steep, they're not insurmountable. Together in solidarity with our sisters and brothers around the world, we can overcome the inequalities and injustices that plague our world. We must never underestimate the power of our movement, and we must never underestimate how its strength relies on each one of us playing our part. Conference, our work doesn't culminate today, it's merely renewed. We've got to continue to give ourselves to this struggle. We might not know how long the struggle will last, but we have to keep it going. So let us leave today with a greater preparedness, and let us stand with a greater resolve to bring people together for change. If you're not already an NEU International Solidarity officer, if you're not subscribed to our International Solidarity Bulletin, why not resolve today to do that? The links are in the chat. Affiliate to a campaign, bring international solidarity to your classroom, champion a cause. Conferences, we stare down the barrel of the world's injustices. Let us continue to be the movement that transforms inertia into action, fear into hope, and isolation into solidarity. Above all, let us persevere with that same unapologetic vision for a better, fairer world that has guided our movement for generations. Thank you all for the time you've invested in today, and I look forward to continuing our work together. I now declare International Solidarity Conference 2021 officially closed. Thank you.